Happy Monday night, everybody. My name is Catherine Kaufman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night talk show, Monday Night Live in Lexington, where we are exploring what and who we are in this thing called life. So welcome to the show. Tonight's episode is going to be part 2 about the evil eye. More specifically, how to protect yourself from the evil eye, which goes back 4,000 years. Beliefs in the evil eye goes back 4,000 years. So that's pretty amazing. Let's do some shout outs here on Facebook. Hey to Melissa Begley. Kisses to Cleo and you. Let's see, Melissa Arthur Woosley, Jimmy, Mark, Chanel, Mindy, Shauna, and Paige, and Kyla. Thanks for joining me. Hey to all you guys over here on Instagram, if you have any questions throughout the show, please put them in the comments section. For those of you that are on my professional page, Catherine Kaufman, Psychic Medium TV, I've left a link in that description so that if you do want to join the live chat, just hit that link and come over to the personal page, and that way you can join the live chat. But if you just want to hang out there and watch the show, enjoy. Hey to Shauna, thanks for joining us this evening. So glad you're here. Remember, sharing is caring. Hit that share button now if you really like these episodes and you want to share those with your friends. I do appreciate it, and it does help the show quite a bit. So our content tonight is how are we going to protect ourselves from the evil eye? Now, like I said, evil eye beliefs and protective charm beliefs go back nearly 4,000 years. Now, I did want to mention some of the things that I did find out on my research. Most amulets or protective charms are worn on the body or placed onto livestock. Like if you were a farmer and you had livestock, you would place the amulet or talisman or something on the actual livestock to protect them. So, and I found these things interesting on my research, and I wanted to tell you guys about them. In Mediterranean areas, a lot of the people who earn their living from the sea, boatmen, fishermen, they would not put out to sea unless there was a pair of eyes fixed to the boat. And this was the belief of the eye would actually outstare the evil eye. Now, in the research, most often evil eye glances were from people who were just experiencing jealousy over somebody else's property, somebody else's wife, somebody else's kids, and that type of thing. So jealousy is the key indicator for the evil eye glance. Hey to Mindy Soleil, Tom Driver, Margaret, Allie, Amanda, Pam, Sharon, Kim, Asher, Donna, Brenda, Joe, and Tiffany. So I found that really interesting that most of the fishermen would not put out to sea without that pair of eyes fixed to the boat. Now, in England in particular, a lot of horse owners and cattle owners would affix an amulet to something around the neck of their horses or their cattle that was considered a talisman. And this was interesting. They actually had amulet shirts in Burma that had embroidered into the shirt magical spells to protect the wearer. And that was very interesting. Now, in China, the sacred turtle was worn as an amulet to bring wisdom and long life, longevity. In Afghanistan, they used a magical amulet tablet, and it was inscribed with specific spells to protect the person. Protective horse brass with a central eye was used, and this again was on the premise that the eye would outstare whoever was glancing towards the person and giving them the evil eye. Now, in most of the research, and this was really interesting, they did say that an enormous amount of the people who cast the evil eye at someone actually have no idea that they're doing it. It's just done out of jealousy or envy. And so that was sort of, you know, an automatic thing that people didn't really think about that they were doing. In ancient Rome, they used bronze hands covered with symbols in the home to protect the inhabitants from the evil eye. And it was thought that conch shells also protected the owners from poverty. So, you know, we do see still some pendants that are little gold, they're called Horn of Plenty, but those are kind of resembling the conch shells that were used thousands of years ago. An Egyptian jewelry in the form of a scarab, that was considered a lucky charm. And that's one of the oldest lucky charms in existence. Hey to Sophia, Nina, Kelly, and Karen Phelps Black. Thanks for joining us. Hey, over here on Instagram to Creek Baby Jane. Thanks for joining us. Love to see you. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the comment section on the personal page. I'll be glad to try to address them with what information I have. We're definitely going to go over how you can protect yourself. So let me get over to that information here. But it was often felt that the jealousy or the envy was the most common cause of inadvertent evil eye. So how do we protect ourselves from this? Well, in Greece, they would carry incense or a cross, and then two, they would actually cross themselves. So crossing yourself was a way to protect against the evil eye. We'll also go into things you can do after the evil eye has already been cast on you. So some of the things that women would do in particular would be to carry red or black string. And in the Jewish faith, it was said that red string in particular, and I've got a notation on that over here. Let me cut to that really quick. In Jewish cultures, parents used a red string to fend off the evil eye. For instance, it would be tied around a crib or a baby's stroller. And then also, this was interesting, and this had to do with, in particular, infants and babies were donned with jet amulets. And it's been known for 3,000 years that jet has been used against evil for centuries. So it's one of the oldest devices or implements that you can use to combat evil is a piece of jet. And then you have to be careful when you look up online jet, because a lot of times it will come up black glass and it will say jet colored. So just be careful of the description. Make sure you're getting a real authentic piece of jet. Jet is fossilized wood, and so it's very light. It's not going to be heavy at all. It can be highly polished and be highly reflective. So, I mean, that's not a problem, but anytime you wear jet, it is to combat extreme evil and darkness. Hey to Heather and Tina over here on Facebook, and Sheila. And a special shout out to Mike McCatton. Thanks for joining me this evening. It's so good to see you on there. Okay, back to evil eye remedies. So the red, black, and white string was used in particular. Often a person was known to put a nail or gunpowder, bread, salt, or garlic, or a ring or something with this indigo blue color under their pillow. And this was in defense of the evil eye. Also, salt was used in a lot of homes as a reflectant or combatant against the evil eye. Hey to Jonna Jones and Arthea. Shout out to Cincinnati and Arthea. Thanks for joining us. And Tracy Crabtree and Tina and Heather. Okay, so we've got all that. Now, I found that this was very, very interesting, and I don't know where it came from. It's kind of weird. I'm sure Creep Baby Jane will love this one. But in history, it was known that a pinch on the rear will remedy the curse of the evil eye. Now, my question was, does that mean, let's say if I was a victim of the evil eye, does that mean that somebody would need to pinch me on the rear? Or does that mean that I would need to pinch somebody on the rear to avert this evil eye that had came upon me? I don't know, but I could never find the answer to that. But I thought that that was really, really strange. The derivation of that was from Greece, Armenia, and Assyria. So a pinch on the rear will remedy the curse of the evil eye. Okay. So in Europe and Christian traditions, creating the sign of the cross with the hands was one way to avert or a cure for the evil eye or averting it. The other, and this, I know a derivation of this is not nice, but making the sign of the horns, okay, this was supposed to avert the evil eye. Now, this was in areas in Greece, Rome, and Bangladesh. Also used this, but in Bangladesh in particular, they drew a black dot on the forehead towards the source of the evil eye. And the black dot was thought to ward the evil eye off. So young, beautiful women were had to adorn themselves with this black dot, but also if they did not want to put it here, they had to put a secret dot behind their ears in kohl to protect against the evil eye there. So that's all interesting, really. Some very, very location-specific stuff. Now, in the Middle East and Africa, the Hamzma hand or the hand of Fatima is used, and it's a hand-shaped symbol that is thought to avert the evil eye. Now, this is like a 2-in-1 type of amulet. So this is there's a specific name for this, and it is Nazar Bonkugu. Okay, that's the concentric circles with the blue color. The hand shape is the Hazma hand or the hand of Fatima. So wearing this hand of Fatima was thought to avert or reflect the evil eye. Again, if any of you guys have any questions at all, please put them in the comments. Now, the Nazar Bonkugu, this is a more kind of a basic shape, circular. The circles are concentric, and it is the blue color. So these are from Turkey and Greece, and they're used to this day. I still can't find my favorite one that came from Turkey. I still am looking for it. I'll have to get my pendulum out to find it, I'm sure. But it was a pink gold one, and these are in Turkey. These are usually blessed before they're sold or sent out. So you can go to a priest and get these blessed and then wear them. So it's that dark blue glass with the concentric circles that's important, and it's thought that that resembles the eye, and that the eye is reflecting back the evil eye from someone else. So it's kind of a stare down between this and the person who's casting the evil eye onto someone else. And so that's how this is thought to work. But so this is kind of a 2-for-1. We have the concentric circles in the blue color, but we also have the hand of Fatima here. And it's also known as the hand of God or the hand of Miriam. So let's see. Hey to Mary, Robert, Yasmin, and Tim, and Betty Jo, and Sandra, and Declan. Thanks for joining me this evening. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else weird on here before we go on, because the pinching on the bottom was certainly a weird way to avert the evil eye. Okay, so let's get into more specifics about locations. Okay, so let's talk about Italy. The sign of the horns, and we talked about this, was used mostly in Italy, and it's more often used in Italy. This is a gesture that dates back from Roman times, and the horns represent the horns of Faunus. That was a Roman god of promiscuous sex. Listen up, creep baby Jane. So it was thought that the Romans thought that getting the droops, and we all know what that is, was a sure sign of an evil curse. And so the sign of the horns of Faunus, because Faunus never got the droops, so that was meaning that Faunus was immune to the evil eye. So there you go. They would make the signs of the horns to kind of avert any type of evil eye curse in their particular parts. So there you go. I thought that was so interesting. So sprinkling salt on the floor just inside your door. This was done a lot in Sicily. Now we got a question here. Okay, Heba has a question. She wants to know exactly what the evil eye is. So you would need to go and watch part 1, Heba. It's on the YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the comments section for you to go back and watch, because that's a whole nother show. And if I start going into that, we'll go over, and I'll have to do a part 3 on this. So yeah, go back and watch part 1. So back to Sicily, sprinkling salt on the floor just inside your door was heavily done. And so a lot of the shopkeepers in Italy and Sicily in particular would put salt down in their shops. And they still say, even today, you can kind of feel the salty grit under your feet as you walk through some of the Sicilian shops. Now, back in the old days, salt was extremely expensive, and it was hard to obtain. So to sprinkle salt on the floor was a big deal. Also, it was considered extremely lucky, because it was so rare that a lot of serious illnesses and deaths occurred from salt deprivation. And so a lot of people who were delirious or semi-conscious from like heat stroke and heat exhaustion, they were considered to be under the effects of the evil eye. So they could be revived by a few grains of this sacred salt, which was very interesting. So a lot of religious offerings in the day included salt, and salt was scattered very widely and was considered extremely protective. And it is something that I use in particular very heavily in property cleansings today. So when I do a property walkthrough and a property cleansing, sanctified or consecrated salt is one of those things that I use just about in every situation. Now, one of the things that I researched on how to protect yourself from the evil eye is to get an exorcist. Now, I'm not sure that every situation needs an exorcist, but certainly if your situation, if you think that everything is falling apart because someone has given you the evil eye, that is in the research suggested as an option to do. Also displaying this Nazar Bonkuku from Turkey and Greece, the blue glass eye that faces off the actual evil eye. It's a mystic stairmount. So displaying one of these, maybe on the door of your home or next to the door of your home, wearing it like one of these little amulets, wearing one of these certainly will do. Or a different amulet that's maybe this is painted on. So that's an option to do. Now this was crazy as well. This was adopting a hunchback. This is right up there with pinching on the bottom for me. But this was believed in ancient Rome. They had a hunchback god for, yes, sex and rape. The revolting Priapus may have turned their stomachs, but he could certainly cure impotence caused by the evil eye. So evidently in Rome, they had a lot of problem with the droops, is what they call it. And so they called on these deities to help them out with this and to prevent them from having this problem. So it's thought that if you touch a hunchback today, that's going to be in good luck and you will not suffer from the evil eye. So that's interesting. Wearing the hand of Fatima, a lot of pendants and necklaces and very ornately made pendants for the hand of Fatima, very intricately made, very beautiful. So we see a lot of hand of Fatima pendants and wall hangings actually as well. So if you didn't want to wear the pendant, you could get a wall hanging and hang it in your foyer or somewhere where the main entryway is to the home. But the hand of Fatima, that lucky hand, is used in a lot of countries. And here, let me show you a picture of one that was really pretty. And this is just a sample of one of the pendants that you could probably purchase and wear. And they're absolutely beautiful. Now in India, this was interesting, hanging 7 chilies and a lemon outside of your front door. That was considered a cure for the evil eye. And then too, there's a spell in Europe called, I think it's a lemon and pin or lime and pin spell. I think it's a lemon and pin spell. But the lemon or the lime is impaled with all of these different colored glass pins. And it's hung in the doorway of the home or the main entryway. And that was considered a lucky amulet to prevent evil from coming into the home or to avert the evil eye as well. Let's see, Mark wants to know, where do you get the salt? Now, in specific, Mark, for myself, if I'm doing a house cleansing or I need to use consecrated salt for something, salt will always work better if you sanctify it or consecrate it yourself. And if you would like, Mark, I can send you on Messenger the process for how to consecrate and how to sanctify your salt for use in a ritual fashion. So if you would like that, just put a comment or message me and I'll be glad to forward that to you for free. So you would want to use consecrated salt. I use the biggest crystal that I can find. Most often, if it's a really serious situation that I feel like the energy has to last for a long time, I'm going to use Celtic sea salt because it's a large crystal, very large crystal. It Also, if you feel of the salt, it has a little bit of moisture left in the salt, and that to me holds the energetic intent of the prayer or the consecration longer. Now, if it's just a regular situation, I'll use like just kind of big flake salt, like kosher salt. It's not expensive. If I'm doing a big, huge property, I'm going to use the kosher salt because we go with the salt all the way around the property, and I use quite a bit. So the kosher salt's a large flake. It does hold energy for quite a while, but it's not going to attenuate as fast as table salt. Now, certainly you could use table salt if you wanted to. There's nothing wrong with that. It does hold energy. The only thing with that is it does attenuate rather fast, and if it has moisture on it, it does go and attenuate really, really fast after that. Now, here's another interesting one. In North Africa, it was known to give yourself a nonsense name, and people in Egypt did this with their children as well. And so what this was thought to do was to kind of like trick the person or trick the evil eye, because if you called your son or daughter by a nonsense name that wasn't their real name, then the evil eye would go to somebody with that real name and not them. So it's kind of a switcheroo kind of thing that they did in Egypt and North Africa. I've got to get a sip because, sorry, my allergies are really bad, and I can't take anything for my allergies, so I just got to handle it. Hey to Sandra and Anissa. Okay, so the nonsense name was thought to kind of avert this evil eye by, you know, making it think that that person's not the one that they want. Okay, in India, now this was historically done, they used to paint, I don't know if they still do or not because of Nazi Germany, but they used to use a swastika, and that was thought to avert the evil eye, because originally the swastikas were used for good luck, up to the point where, you know, Adolf Hitler decided to give it a new meaning, and now that's kind of the only meaning we connotate with that, which is a shame, because originally it was, you know, kind of it was a good luck type of symbology. So now this one, and yeah, we're not going to be able to get all through this weekend. Okay, I'll present this one and then we'll close it for the evening, especially because my feed was disrupted. But hey to Aria Hager. So spitting in Greece and India was a big thing to get rid of the evil eye. So it's specifically spitting at the number of 3. So spitting 3 times. And they also said that if a person spat on you, it wasn't considered a slight or something against you. They were actually trying to protect you from the evil eye. Hey to Timothy and Regina over here on Instagram, and Connie. Thanks for joining us this evening. So if somebody actually spat on you in Greece or India, you're supposed to thank them for trying to protect you. So I thought that was really, really interesting. Now, specifically in Hispanic cultures, I'm going to mention 2 or 3 more things, and then we'll have to close for the evening. But in Hispanic cultures, especially with reference to kids and children, it was thought that whoever inadvertently cast the evil eye out of jealousy or envy was required to touch the child that they were envious of, touch the child on the forehead to reverse the evil eye that they had sent to the kid. So they're supposed to, and I guess the parents took care of saying, look, you gave my kid the evil eye, get over here and put your hand on their forehead. And, you know, because the evil eye was thought that if the glance was done without touching someone, it's something about the disconnection of not being intimate or not touching that person that caused this evil eye to come about. Now, in Mexico and Latin countries, using an egg over the person, passing the egg over them, was thought to pull the evil eye out, and then it was curing it at the same time. Hand gestures also, pointing your hand down with this index and pinky. Now, in the other cultures, the horned hand was pointed at the person who was giving the evil eye. I think in Latin cultures it's pointed down. I'm not sure exactly why, but maybe I could find that out before the next show. Now, this method was used in China to find a six-sided mirror, and the six-sided mirror is placed at the entryway of the home to reflect back any type of evil eye energy that's coming at the home. And so, and two, in India, they also use mirrors to cure or ward off the evil eye. Instead of placing it, you know, either in the home or at the entryway of the home, some of the mirrors were actually placed in the clothing. So I've always wondered why some of the clothing and the scarves and the wraps had little mirrors in them. And that was always very interesting to me. Okay, I'm going to end with this one because this one was so creepy. And this was used in Sicily as well. And it's a urine method where everyone in the house had to pee in a bucket, and then the urine is spilled in front of the house. Now, why that prevents the evil eye, I have no idea, but that's what they did. I'm going to end there on that tonight. I think next week what we'll do is there's a process to creating an amulet, and I'm gonna share that process step by step. We're gonna have a different setup, you guys, because what I want to do is kind of put the camera down onto the table and have you watch me actually consecrate and create a talisman and an amulet. Does that sound interesting to you? Is that something that you'd want to see? I think that that's what we'll do for next week. And yeah, let's do that. Put it in the comments section. And I'm just looking at Andy News comment. She's not a medium, LOL. Okay, Andy. Whatever you say. Sometimes you just have to laugh, folks. Sometimes you just have to laugh. But anyway, sharing is caring. Remember to hit that share button and share this out with your friends and your family. I do so love to see you guys every Monday night, and I do appreciate every single one of you joining us here for Monday Night Live in Lexington, where we're exploring what and who we are through this thing called life, because, you know, folks, we're all trying to make it through, aren't we? Kisses from Kentucky, and I will see you next Monday night. Love you guys.